I never thought a joke could end a marriage. Not the way it did that night. It was supposed to be harmless, a small laugh between friends, the kind of teasing couples usually shrug off. But the look in my husband's eyes when I said it, that look still keeps me awake at night. We were out with a group of friends, sitting around a long wooden table at our favorite Italian restaurant downtown. The lights were low, the wine was flowing, and everyone was in that easy, tipsy mood where conversation just spills over itself. Ethan sat beside me, his hand resting on the table, thumb tracing lazy circles on his glass. Across from us was Adam, my college friend, someone I hadn't seen in years. Adam had always been the funny one, quick with comebacks and stories that could make anyone laugh. When he leaned in and told me, "You haven't changed at all, still the prettiest troublemaker in the room," I laughed, maybe a little too loudly. And then I said it, the line that burned everything down. "Oh, please," I smirked. "You just miss flirting with me back in college." It hung in the air like smoke. Everyone chuckled. Even Adam laughed and waved it off, but Ethan didn't. He froze, his jaw tightening just enough for me to notice. His thumb stopped moving. He didn't say anything, not right away. The conversation around us carried on, but the warmth at our end of the table had vanished. I reached for his hand, but he pulled it back under the pretense of checking his phone. The rest of the dinner dragged. I kept trying to fix the atmosphere. Small touches, quiet smiles, a whispered, "You okay?" that he ignored with a thin nod. But something in his eyes had gone cold. It wasn't anger. It was hurt. Sharp, silent, and final. When we got home, the silence followed us in. The only sounds were the faint hum of the refrigerator and the click of his wedding ring against the counter as he set down his keys. "Ethan," I said softly, closing the door behind me. "It was just a joke." He didn't look at me. "Yeah, a joke. You know, Adam means nothing." He turned then, and his voice was low, steady, but each word hit like a stone. "It's not about Adam, it's about you. The way you looked at him, the way you wanted to be seen." I opened my mouth to argue, but the truth in his tone stopped me. I hadn't realized how easily I slipped into that old version of myself, the flirty, carefree girl who needed to be noticed. Ethan wasn't accusing me of cheating. He was accusing me of disrespect. He poured himself a glass of water, drank it, and then said, "You made me feel small tonight." My chest tightened. "Ethan, no, you did," he said again. "And the worst part is you didn't even notice." He walked past me and went straight to the bedroom. I stood in the kitchen staring at the faint condensation left by his glass, feeling a pit open in my stomach. That night, he slept on his side of the bed, turned away from me. I tried to reach for him, but my hand hovered in the dark, trembling, unsure if I had the right anymore. The next morning, he left early for work without saying goodbye. His coffee mug was still on the counter, half full, like a paused conversation. I sat at the table for hours, trying to replay every second of that dinner. The laughter, the look, the silence. A single sentence, one careless line had cracked something that used to feel unbreakable. And for the first time since we'd said, "I do," I wasn't sure if love would be enough to fix it. Days passed, but the silence between us didn't fade. It deepened. Ethan wasn't cruel or distant in obvious ways. He still did the dishes, still folded his laundry, still asked if I wanted coffee when he made his own. But his tone had changed. It was polite, detached, like I was a guest in my own marriage. Every time he looked at me, I saw that same expression from the restaurant. Not anger, not jealousy, just disappointment. And that hurt more than rage ever could. I tried to fix things. I apologized again and again. I cooked his favorite meals, left small notes on his desk, texted him during the day just to say I loved him. He'd reply with a thumbs up, sometimes a short thanks. One evening, I finally cornered him in the kitchen. "Ethan, please talk to me," I said. "I can't stand this anymore." He didn't even look up from the glass he was drawing. "Talk about what? You made your joke." "I got it." "No," I said, my voice breaking. "You didn't. I didn't mean to hurt you." He put the glass down and finally faced me. "Then why did you laugh like that, Amelia? Why did you look at him like that? The use of my name like that, quiet, stripped of affection, made my stomach twist." "I wasn't thinking," I said. "It was a stupid moment." "Exactly," he said. "You weren't thinking." You forgot I was sitting right there." He walked away before I could say another word. That night, I lay awake listening to him breathe beside me. Every inhale felt like proof he was still here, and every exhale felt like he was further away. I wanted to shake him to make him see I hadn't meant any of it, that my heart had never left him for a second. But I also knew he wasn't just angry about one moment. He was mourning trust. The next weekend, I came home from the grocery store and found him sitting on the couch scrolling through his phone. He looked calm, but his voice was flat when he said, "Adam messaged me." I froze. "What?" He said he didn't mean to cause problems, that you told him we were fine. Ethan's eyes met mine. "Are we?" I sat down across from him. I told him not to worry, because I didn't want him to feel guilty. It wasn't what? He interrupted. Flirting, disrespect, making me look like a fool. Tears burned at the back of my eyes. "Ethan, please don't do this. You know I love you." He leaned back, folding his arms. "I know you do, but love doesn't undo words. It doesn't erase the way you made me feel small in front of other people." His calmness hurt more than shouting ever could. For a while, neither of us said anything. The afternoon light slanted across the floor, catching the edge of his wedding band. That small glint of gold, the same ring that once meant forever, felt unbearably heavy now. "I don't want to lose you over one mistake," I whispered. He nodded slowly. "Then don't make it again." It wasn't forgiveness. It was a warning wrapped in exhaustion. After that day, we didn't talk about Adam again. But something between us stayed fractured. Ethan started working later. The dinners grew quieter. Sometimes when he thought I wasn't looking, I'd catch him staring at me with that same wounded expression, like he was still searching for the woman he thought he knew. Weeks later, I found myself back at that same restaurant with a friend from work. The lights, the music, the smell of garlic and wine, everything was the same. Yet, I felt like a stranger in the scene. I realized then what had truly broken that night wasn't just trust. It was perception. Ethan had always believed I saw him first, and for one careless moment, I hadn't. When I got home, he was asleep on the couch, TV still glowing faintly. I knelt beside him, brushing his hair back, whispering, "I'm sorry," one last time. Not expecting him to hear, not expecting an answer. He stirred slightly, but didn't open his eyes. I kissed his forehead and stood up, knowing some apologies are too late. Not because love is gone, but because respect has already left. That night, I slept alone in our bed. The space beside me stayed cold, and though we never spoke of that evening again, the silence that followed said everything words never could.